Hi guys, welcome to my channel, True Sacred Union. I am Debbie Dubois, and if you are new here, welcome in. I wanted to do a quick video before I head to the gym. It is something that I've wanted to do since yesterday afternoon, but it was so funny because I had a whole series of things happen earlier in the day, and so I reached out to my very dear friend Hamish Bartholomeaus, and I was telling him some of the things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I see some patterns here. I see some stuff going on. I wanted to tell you about it. I dumped maybe a 5-minute message, and he responded almost within like 2 or 3 minutes, and he said, I just uploaded that video. And I'm like, oh my God, you are kidding. And he was like, nope, that's exactly what I said. And he was even saying that some of the words were almost exactly the same things that I was saying. So it led me to think a couple of things. Number one, it's obvious that the things that he was talking about in his video about distractions and about 3D coming in, how absolutely true it is. But additionally, it also showed me something else. There is a synchronicity or a synergism or I want to say like a single-mindedness kind of running through groups of people that are working together, or groups of people who are in the same circles, or they're doing the same kind of things. And I just thought that that was incredible because I thought about it and I said, you know, somebody, probably our higher selves, knew that Hamish gets up first thing in the morning and does videos. And it was the end of my day because he's in Australia and I'm in Atlanta. So I woke up, he woke up, and then he just starts doing videos. And I was winding down my day. I was really tired. It took a lot out of me because it had been a rough two days approximately. And I had made some conclusions. And I thought, how incredibly cool that probably simultaneously he's getting information from his own experiences that that 3D things were coming around again for us to relook at, and he was picking up on that. But what was so weird is right as he was recording it, I was having a conversation with another person who he and I were actually like putting the pieces of this together about the 3D distractions because we were kind of trying to figure out what was going on. So it's almost like Hamish grabbed that information, and it was like between the two of us, it's like, yeah, you're not going to make a video, but I am, so I'll deliver the information. So I thought that was really, really cool. And then I saw his video and I thought, oh my God, this is almost identical to everything that my friend and I had been talking about. But then there were some things as the rest of the night progressed that I started to realize there were some additional things that I started to notice. And my friend and I went back and forth on a few more voice messages. A lot of us leave each other voice messages kind of because we're all on different time zones and different schedules. And it was so strange because we were talking about the distractions, and I remember Hamish saying, well, it's like, hey, you got to vacuum the house, you got to vacuum the house as 3D. And I thought, yeah, but that's not it for me. It's not about the 3D stuff like that, because I vacuum my house, I clean my house, I get my everyday stuff done. But what had happened was the 3D stuff that was coming in, it was like blindsiding. And that's what my friend and I were both saying, because he had a situation where, like he was in his flow and everything, and all of a sudden this old relationship showed up and was like distracting and making, kind of like wanting to redefine the relationship and everything. And he was like, oh my gosh, I was really in my flow, and now all of a sudden, what is this and why is this? And it really threw him for a loop. And for me, it was technology. I do deal in technology. I don't know if some of you know this. I have a digital marketing company, of which I'm not, firsthand running a lot of it right now. but I'm very technical. I usually have to deal with, I used to more often than not. I used to do web design and digital marketing. And of course, you have to deal with tech support all the time. And I've dealt with, oh my gosh, I've been hacked by Facebook. Like, we've been hacked by Facebook. My business partner lost his profile for 7 months. I mean, it was a nightmare. And so I've dealt with tech before, but I kind of have distanced myself from that part of the business. And, you know, he's good at that stuff. That's what he does best. And I just don't. So I'm like, yeah, you can run stuff. I'm over here doing other things, right? And so the tech stuff gets to me because I don't know if you guys notice or not, but systems are breaking down. I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's the people that used to run it, you know who I'm talking about. I think that they probably kept everything running smoothly and ticking right along while they were in control, because that is a control system. But as things started happening where they started losing power, I don't think they had the same money that they had. They're probably taking the money rather than putting it into their systems to keep things running smoothly. And all of a sudden, I'm having the craziest things happen. Like, I was trying to log into a VPN, and I went to the interface. I'm putting in my username and password. It says, nope, that's not your username and password. So I went, okay, well, let me reset it. So I reset it, and it says, okay, you reset your password. It says, go here. So I go here, and I try to put my username and password in. Nope, it won't let me in. That does not match our records. I'm like, what the heck? So actually, my business partner did suggest, against everything that I hate to do it, but it's like, okay, technical support. So I get on technical support with the people. I was so mad at this point. I'm just like, I'm going in circles. And they're like, well, can you tell me what link you used to sign in? And I sent him a link that came from the web where it says customer login. And he goes, oh, that's outdated. I'm like, what? It's on your website. It's on Google. It's supposed to be right. So I ended up getting a different login page. It worked beautifully. I got my VPN working, no problem. Then I was doing some other stuff, and I ran into some frustrations. Oh, I know, it was my crypto wallet, and I had to go in. I'm trying to do some stuff with that. And so I went in there and I had to update the crypto wallet. And then unbeknownst to me, when you update, it's like all of your apps disappear and it looks like you have nothing on your wallet. And I was like, what? Where did it go? I'm like, this is not funny. I'm freaking out. So it took me a while to figure all that out. And then it was just a little while later, I got a notification from the bank, $196, $196, $196, just coming off my account. I'm like, listen, I don't have that much money in my account, people. I said, I just started freaking out. So I'm like, what is happening? And then I got a message from the bank, is this, this has been declined. And, unless you say that this is a valid charge. I said no. And so this is all happening like within the same time span. So blindside, and blindside again with some technical things that I just didn't expect to happen. And in this particular case, my mom had used my card. I don't know what happened, but a lot of times that, we just have technical issues. And the problem is that she was trying to call me and text me, and I was trying to get a hold of the bank, and there was no number to call. And I'm like, I had to go on the talking aspect and say, I'm looking for this kind of help. And then they sent me someplace else, and I'm like, but my transaction's not on here to decline and all this. So I finally got through to a customer service rep, and it all got taken care of. So all of that to say, I'm giving you my own personal life experiences, because what I'm trying to show you is I think I've put together a little bit of what has happened in the last couple of days, maybe going back about 4 days. I think all of us, anyone that's watching my channel, we've all kind of talked about how January was just, it was brutal. And then February came in, and February seemed to bring with it some new energies, some new. I know I talked in my last video about the lotus position I found myself in, where I started to find the stability, and I gotta say that stability did not go away. I still have it, and if you haven't seen that video, you might want to check it out. It's my last video that I did by myself, kind of in this format with, this background. And so let me just think. All right. So, I think that a lot of us had our lotus positions, but I think that, I was looking at the information that Hamish was putting up, and I'm thinking, okay, the distractions, they're 3D distractions. And I've been kind of mulling it over the last 24 hours about what that actually means. And what I came to was there are 3D things that we have been putting off, or there are 3D things that have been destined to be finished, or there are 3D things that we have to learn how to do differently. And we've gained some new skills and some new tools. And I believe that we are now in a space where we have to figure out how to navigate these things. And number one, wrap them up if they're things that we've always been wanting to do, get it done, which requires focus, and it requires a different methodology to accomplishing things. And I thought about that. Well, I can talk about that in a minute. So one of the things is projects or things that maybe we wrote into our scripts that we really wanted to finish up or accomplish that we don't feel like we have, and there just seems to be an urgency for those things, and they're very 3D. Then there's cases where something blindsides you out of nowhere. Like, I had a friend whose mom fell down, and now she is taking her to get surgery. I think I talked about the relationship that was blindsided. I had some blindsided stuff with the finances. So those are just a couple of the examples of the blindsiding. But then, and it's so interesting because Hamish mentioned this, I have friends that are dealing with illness. And I want to say illness or handling it differently. I would say going into it at a deeper level. So they might have been sick, or they might have been hurt, or they might have had injuries before, and they've popped back up, or they're requiring focus, and it's making them stop, and it's like demanding our attention. So while I really, really do feel like we're interpreting a lot of these 3D things as distractions, I believe that there is a bigger, more important reason for them, other than like trying to pull us off course, if that makes sense. I really don't feel that the things that are coming in are intended to pull us off course. Rather, either help us understand how to navigate those kind of situations from our new space, or wrap up things that we kind of didn't get to and kind of didn't finish and we want to finish, which requires focus, or how to handle something that blindsides us really hard and surprises us, so that we have a better response from our new space. So I really feel like it changed everything when it changed everything as soon as I saw that Hamish had published the video. I'm like, he is my soul brother, and I just felt so comforted by the fact that you know, there's another person on the entire other side of the world that is so tuned in to the same things that I'm tuned into, and we're both picking up the same things in our lives, and we couldn't be further apart. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that really said something. And then it kind of made everything make sense. And so as soon as I realized, oh, okay, so now we've got to do this a little differently. We've got to go to that inner space of calm, of patience, all of the things that we've been working with, and faith and confidence that things are going to work out, the knowing that we're creator beings, the knowing that we're all powerful. Because I was watching some George Kavasalis videos, and I was just, you know, I am really very interested in all of the stuff that he is confirming about inner beings and just how powerful we actually are. And now here we are, we're leveling up. We're getting to a space where I feel like we're either in the new earth before the big, huge push for everyone to elevate, you know, for the whole boat to elevate, or we're just very close. It really doesn't matter to me anymore. I'm trying not to get obsessed and you know, like all wrapped up in all of that stuff. But regardless of what's happening, we are getting to up our game for 3D. And I mean, we can approach the situations in 3D in a different way. So I'm just going to give you a quick example. One of the things that was brought to my attention at 5 in the morning, I swear to God, guys, I don't sleep. I don't know what's going on. I sleep, but it's not normal at all. And I got this video in front of me that started talking about metabolism. And I was like, I mean, I go to the gym all the time, and I'm very dedicated to working out, but I've been very frustrated at eating. Like, I don't want to eat. And I know everyone says ascension, you've been fasting, you're not going to want to eat, all that. You know, I say poppycock. My body needs energy. And I'm watching this video, and it's talking about metabolism that gets really depleted. I forget what it's called, like metabolism reduction or whatever. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, oh my God, that's me. That is totally me. And if it didn't, see, I think if it didn't affect my physical body, if I felt really good and it wasn't weighing on me, that video never would have grabbed my attention. But it was put in front of me for a reason. I had been struggling with what to eat, when to eat. You know, I was doing keto, but I wasn't getting enough energy, but I was clear thinking, and I didn't want to give that up. I was so confused. I couldn't tell you which way. I was, you know, every which way to Sunday. So I realized after watching this video, oh my God, you guys, I got stuck in one of those videos where you can't click off of it. If you click off of it, it's gone forever. And I was very interested in everything this guy was saying. So of course, at the very end of it, what does Debbie do? She says, okay, schedule me for one of these consults. I'm such a sucker. But anyways, I just knew I needed to do this for whatever reason. And inside, I'm going, no, you're getting distracted. You're getting pulled off course. I could feel it. It was getting me so upset. But I was like, I have to find out. I have to know. So anyways, I did have the appointment, and as it would have it, they wanted $3,000. And listen, I think that to have someone put together a meal plan that's perfectly for everything that you need and blah, 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 I think it's totally worth it. So I'm not in a space where I can do that right now. So I'm sitting there, and I said, well, you know what? Put me on your calendar to call next month. And I was going to get him to call me because, hey, you never know. Maybe the crypto will go and I can afford it. But anyways, but I hope you see what I'm really getting at here is that I had this weighing on me. I've been on this path for the last 15 years where I work out like a fiend, And I've tried everything from fasting to juice fasting to keto to low carb to everything. And the truth is no matter what I do, I'm not getting optimal anything in my body. I'm not getting optimal nutrition. And I usually do end up fading away. My sleep schedule's all over the place. So of course I did get pulled in, and I did listen to this. But after I hung up with the guy, so yeah, call me next month. I knew that I had to take some kind of action, and my brain just started frying. I'm like, oh my God, I know what I need to do. There's something called carb cycling. I even had the app that would show me based on everything, like what my macros needed to be for calories and all the different, I know I'm getting into very 3D things for a reason. All right. So I knew that I needed to do this. So I said to my business partner, who sometimes just always like, I just feel like he's poking me. I'm like, just stop it. Just stop it. I was a little irritated. I won't lie. I know he's probably going to watch this, but yeah, I was a little irritated because he was like, oh, you can find someone to do that for you. And I'm like, do you know how complicated it is to do a menu, for a carb cycling diet with all these different calories and all these different nutritional needs and foods that you like and I'm like, no way. And I was just, it was that feeling of the old thinking, oh, that's impossible. My brain can't possibly do it. So he says to me, I'm putting this stuff in chat GPT. And I said, oh my God. I said, yeah, right. They're going to be able to do that. So he put something in and he gives it back to me. And it was like, I saw what they sent back and I thought, that's not bad. So I decided to sit down and write down. I knew exactly what I needed to happen. So I put it in very specific language. I copied it to him. I sent it to him on our work thread. And I said, okay, what do you think? You think it's good? And then I went over here to this other chat GPT thing. And it's like, yeah, they wouldn't give it to me. I knew they wouldn't. He goes, well, I put it in on my side and I just got a whole bunch of information. And I'm like, no way. So I saw it and I'm like, oh my God, here's the beginning of a dietary program that might actually be doable. And first of all, I apologized to him for being sort of snarky. I was like, I'm sorry, but I really didn't think that was going to happen. And I thanked him. And I'll be honest with you, when I looked at the AI's numbers, I started crunching numbers on carbs and stuff. And I'm going, oh my God, this is not even close to what I was looking for. But it started to give me things that my inner being started to show me. Do you see how we're starting to get into a flow? You were in resistance. You thought you couldn't do this. You were definitely in resistance to him giving you any information at all. You don't know anything. I was in that space. And then I realized, okay, open up to the possibilities. Maybe it is easy. Maybe I can, because I'm thinking, oh my God, you need grocery lists and I need meal plans and I need calories and I need, I need to make sure 3 different types of days where you have 3 different amounts of fats, carbs, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, I'm just freaking out. But I started to go, wow, I'm getting it now. Okay. So I started. I just don't even know what happened this morning. Thank goodness I had done all my selling work. I set my sales and everything for Intuit Oracle. So, and I woke up to more sales than we'd had in a while. And I was like, oh, okay, well then I guess I don't really need to be focused on work right now. And of course I wanted to do a video to respond to Hamish's video. And I was like, nope, I'm sucked in now. So distraction. I got distracted, but I got distracted in a different way. I got distracted in a comfortable way. I got distracted in I felt like my inner being is walking with me kind of way. And all of a sudden I had like 10 different things going at one time. And I had, oh wow, I have a formula that I can write all of this stuff up here. And I had my calculator and I had my calorie counter and I had, a couple of websites where I was pulling up certain things that I had been thinking about adding to my diet. And I started implementing it today. Well, I had already done a low carb day yesterday, so I was on medium carbs. So I was like, okay, I can do it. So I started the program of my own carb cycling to where I'm actually writing it as I go. And I have a whole day ahead. And I even went to the grocery store. And do you know that I bought less stuff at the grocery store? It was all from the fruit and vegetable aisles. I have so much variety right now in my diet. I'm like, this has got to do well. So, all right, so just sort of to wrap this up, it is, wow, almost 10 o'clock at night, and I'm getting ready to go to the gym. And with this creative process and with the food that I've eaten today, because I've had lots of food, I'm like, how is this even possible? I'm so used to starving, I'm so used to starving, and I'm eating like really healthy and a lot of food. And I'm like, okay, and I'm in my calories. I haven't taken a nap. I didn't feel like laying down and going to sleep. I felt wonderful all day. I felt accompanied by a legion of all my aspects with me. I didn't feel alone. So I felt very guided. My mood had really improved. I've had a couple things pop up and I'm like, oh, okay, just take care of it, get it done. So I know I went through that whole lengthy process, but as I was going through it, it's like I knew I was going to create this video because I knew that the antidote to the fear and the anxiety, and because in a way when this 3D stuff came in, it felt like, oh no, it's ripping me out. It's ripping me away from where I want to go, which is out. I just want to get out. Everyone, I've still been talking to all of my contacts are all still saying the same thing. I'm really tired of being here. I'm really tired of being here. And, but it goes back to something that I said in my last video about the lotus position and a little bit of a shift that had happened to me personally is when you start to operate from your higher space, you stop being unhappy in your own skin and in your own life and in your own body. And you stop feeling that need to race to the door. That doesn't mean that I'm not totally ready and that if there's some kind of anomaly, solar flash event that were to happen on the way to the gym, that I would not be thrilled. I would absolutely be thrilled. But in the meantime, the day-to-day process, the day-to-day grind, how do we bring that spiritual side of ourselves in? How do we embody all of the grace and the beauty and the magnificent beings that we are? How do we embody that here in the moment of now? And I think that's what our inner beings are working with us. So I know I've got a friend out there that's moving and it's very tedious and it's very busy, but yeah, mindfully moving, you're moving from one space of your existence to another, and you can make it significant. I've got another friend who's working on a huge building project, kind of wondering where the money is going to come from, kind of wondering how things are going to get done because there's so many things to do. And she just reported in that she's going away this weekend for kind of like a wake or a funeral kind of thing. And her very dear, I guess you could say her boyfriend, he's one of my friends, I love him. He's doing work for her while she's gone. I just, I dropped those as two very little examples, and I mean, they're big to them, but I'm just saying two of many, many, many examples I could give you of people that I know that are working through their 3D stuff. I want to say this. I am so proud of every single one of you for the amount of effort you are putting in. And I can only say this, really try to see this as an integration period of your greater being into your into your everyday life so that you can finish up some of those scripts that you wanted to finish up before we I don't even want to say head on out, because I really don't know exactly what happens, but I know that once there are shifts, we won't ever be doing stuff the same again. So I guess what I'd like to do is encourage you, try to have a little bit of patience. Think about it this way. You know, you're never, ever, ever going to have this experience again. A lot of you are going, thank God. But with all of the horrible things that we've experienced, just remember there have been so many that we have loved and embraced. There's so many people that we love and we embrace. And so, yeah, if you can kind of look at it as this is just the wrap up of something that's been like a once in an existence experience. Try not to rush out the door. Try to just enjoy and embody each of these moments. And we're going to have more of them. There's going to be more things. There'll be global stuff. I'm sure of it. There's going to be something. And we're going to have to really embody our greater being. And I know you can do it, and I know I can do it. So I mean, guys, high five. We've already got this one. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Yeah, and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. Any subscriber becomes part of my family, and comments are very welcome below. I try to answer every single one. It doesn't always happen, but I try. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.